In a passionate address to the Knesset, an Israeli lawmaker drew stark parallels between the historical suffering of the Biafran people in Nigeria and the Jewish Holocaust, urging Israel's foreign ministry to elevate the issue on global platforms. The debate, centered on the southeastern Nigerian region historically known as Biafra, home to the Igbo ethnic group, highlighted ongoing allegations of persecution, displacement, and violence, while the government response emphasized diplomatic caution and respect for Nigerian sovereignty. The discussion was initiated by member of Knesset, MK Yaakov Margi, who proposed adding the topic to the parliamentary agenda. Recalling the Nigerian Civil War, 1967 to 1970, often referred to as the Biafran War, Margi described haunting images from the era that shook the world's conscience in the 1960s. He noted the international symbol of starvation embodied by children with swollen bellies due to kwashiorkor, a severe form of malnutrition caused by the blockade imposed by Nigerian forces. Despite global outrage, Margi lamented, the world continued to remain silent, and the siege continued until their surrender. Margi presented staggering figures to underscore the scale of the tragedy. An estimated 2.5 million Biafrans killed since the war's end, totaling around 6 million deaths over the decades. 6 million. A chilling, shocking number that reminds us of something of what we went through as Jews, he exclaimed, evoking the Holocaust's death toll. He argued that this number shakes the heart and the foundations, compelling a Jewish moral imperative to act. Turning to contemporary issues, Margi painted a dire picture of escalating threats in the region. He accused extremist Muslim groups from northern Nigeria of invading.
Hello, good morning, SN viewers. If you are new to the channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Mr. Chinedu, the world has yet again woken up to another reality, talking about this new development from Israeli Knesset, a situation where initially, after getting 24 members voting for Biafra freedom, we are coming to the realization that as we have it, 70 members that are needed to authenticate it have already endorsed it. This, I must say, is a welcome development. But let me get an immediate reaction.
Good news and yes, wider jubilation to people all over the world, lovers of freedom. This is what I can call a long walk to freedom. It's not yet uru, if I can put it that way, but at least to an extent, we are seeing the required number, endorsing the executive to do the needful. And I learned that, they have already formalized the document properly, and there is also the presence of powerful other people who are making sure that Benjamin Netanyahu, are sent to it. If not the visitor he had in Israel yesterday, the president, the prime minister of India, had a courtesy visit, with the Israeli president. Good news, of course, long awaited. I don't want to start mentioning names, but a special thank you to Yaakov Margi, for standing and defending, the reality on ground. The next move, what we are going to see now, yes, is going to be an official presentation to the executive. That's how it is being done. Where every other thing will be taken into consideration, both legal framework and other things will also come follow up immediately. But there is something we need to understand about this before they actually start this process. I think this is the fastest votes in terms of declaring a nation, a sovereign nation, going through this process from the history of the world. This is the first time it's happening in the parliament, the Knesset, or the Knesset, let me put it that way. taking such decision. It weakens the people who thought that IPOB are not actually, working in that direction. But you can see the development now. Nigerian government has never officially reported it, and we don't need them to actually report it. But they will hear it, either by omission or by commission, that when Israel rises to proclaim their official recognition, because that is what is actually needed now, by the executive. So it has to go through that legislation. And while it is going through that legislation, the entire hierarchy of the Biafran government, let me just put it that way, was in Netherlands, somewhere in Hague, where they officially presented territorial integrity and boundaries of Biafra to the World Court and, of course, other international organization. It was officially submitted about a few hours ago, and as you can see in this video too, that is actually playing out, you can see the environment, you can see them addressing Biafrans all over the world on the level of achievement they have also achieved. In case this thing takes everybody by sudden, at least the international community, world leaders and relevant authorities and organizations are already aware, because we will need our territorial waters to be protected. We need of course our airspace, and direction and all that. So everything is just working. For those who does not know, they're actually doing a lot in that direction. So that document is already in the office, and I want to say a big one, a big win for Biafrans all over the world. And back to Israel, of course, that is the center of the essence of this interview today. What we are seeing that is going to happen, likely everybody should just be hopeful that at the end of the day there will be good news. Yes, we'll hear that the Israeli foreign affairs minister is also involved. I think by today or tomorrow, by Monday, there will be an exclusive meeting with the people who has already voted. I think the required number they have gotten the required number, and they have been voted. 70 of them has actually voted for empowering the president or the prime minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, to make an official declaration in recognition of Biafra. It is going to be mind-blowing the day and hour it is going to happen. Nobody knows. But I think the news will continue to filter in when and how and when it is going to be done and how it was done. It is going to be something the world will know. It's not going to be a hidden thing, just like the way they came out boldly and address the issue of Somaliland recognition as a sovereign nation. So okay, that is the game.
Here, we understand that, just like he said, the leader of the India was in Israel the other day, where he even addressed Israeli Knesset. And the way it is, from just like he said, the ball is likely going to be the court of the Prime Minister of Israel, who will have to enforce the resolution of the House. Don't forget that even the Prime Minister of Israel, talking about Benjamin Netanyahu, at some point, he raised issue about Christian persecutions, where he specifically mentioned Nigeria. We understand that once we talk about Christianity in Nigeria, Biafra comes to mind. It looks as if these are part of what influenced his decision in Israel.
For over 50-something years, a lot of people begin to wonder, are these things actually getting along very well? But it becomes very clear when Nigeria has taken a certain position. We saw it very clearly just recently when the US report actually came out, the one that Ranimo actually presented. And they look at the North is defending and saying it very publicly that Nigeria is a Muslim nation. And of course, there are Muslims in the Igbo land, there's Muslims in the Yoruba land, there's Muslims everywhere. And that is the reason why Nigeria is an Islamic nation. Then the question is this now, based on that position, I think that was what led the Vice President, Shetima, to the United Nations General Assembly to make that kind of statement, against Israel. We are mourning over the October 7 invasion by extremists and radical Islam, Hamas and the rest of the Hezbollah, and they invaded Israel. And instead of at least telling the story of what happened, of what led to Israel, rising against these people within that came into Israel communities and begin to disallow the Jews, Nigeria defended them, and they now said, okay, if it has gone to that point, then we will now tell them that, irrespective of how you look at Israel as a nation, Israel still remain the most powerful nation in the world today, and no nation, so what for now, no nation crosses their path, as a threat and survive. But now they have looked at it very well and said, okay, I think it's going to be a very big advantage for us to take a proper decision. After all, this cry has been long, and this thing has been identified over and over and over and again. And this global push and reawakening of the level of threat powerful nations, especially Christian nations all over the world, are receiving from Islamic jihadists and the rest of them, actually triggered the position and the decision the Israeli government is taking today about the restoration of Biafra, and that is what it is. So, and don't be surprised that having looked at the United States of America and the kind of report Ralima actually put down there, it is going to be very difficult for them to understand that we do not need to cohabit with radicals, extremist ideology as Christians, and of course at the end of the day we'll start having the same challenges Israel and Hamas are actually having. Then God, as God will have it, we saw a sudden change of direction by the Israeli parliament, the Knesset or the Knesset, whichever way you will call it, rising up and said, no, this is the time. And we can see within a few days, we can see speed of resolutions taken in that direction. It has gotten to that point now, and I believe that before it will even come to the position of where the House will actually, the Parliament, the Israeli Parliament, the MKs will actually take such decision. It means that it has the Prime Minister's nod at the end of the day. But if you look at the sudden turnaround within the global diplomatic circle, where we begin to see one of the most powerful nations in the Asia, I'm talking about India, Prime Minister visiting on the day there was a resolution. They concluded, the Parliament themselves concluded and voted overwhelmingly for the Biafran declaration was the day the Indian Prime Minister Modi was in Israel.
Let me say very thank you for your time. We hope to continue this conversation next time. Thank you very much.